Praise be to the name of the Lord. I hope everybody is doing well. And I hope that when you watch this, you really get encouraged. Uh, Today, I was just thinking, what should I be speaking? So then I came across a story of a woman, a Samaritan woman, where Jesus asked her water to drink. He met her at the well, which is a Jacob's well. So if you check John chapter 4, it is from verse 1, that Jesus was avoiding certain confrontation from Pharisees because they were aware this his ministry was growing and he really didn't wanted to spoil things. So he decided to move from there and go to Galilee. While moving from there, he had to pass through a village called Samaria, where usually Jews and Samaritans they used to never talk with each other. It was a social barrier at that point of time. But then he chose that way. Probably God is someone who knows what's going to happen. While he was passing from there, Bible mentioned it was the sixth hour. Sixth hour, which means it's like mid afternoon, 12 o'clock. So you can imagine the heat, or it was so hot. And obviously, Jesus used to walk along everywhere. He used to go walking everywhere. He never had any chariots or any means of transportation. So he used to walk with his disciples everywhere. While he was just passing by to a certain village, he waited at Jacob's well. Now, this was the land where Jacob's well is built, which he had gifted to his son the place. So at that point of time, there came a woman who was a Samaritan woman, and she came to fill in the water. So out of nowhere, Jesus asked her for water to drink. Now she was surprised because looking at him, she knew that he is a Jew, and usually Jews used to not interact with Samaritans. So she was surprised, and she did ask him, "How can you ask me for water?" But it didn't matter to him. Then he started, a conversation with her that you're just talking about a physical water, but I am someone that if I give someone a living water, which is again a word of God, you will never thirst again. So she did not understand. Then, he tried to open up her heart and where she was asking about which is the place to worship truly. Then again, Jesus answered her, there is no such particular place, a location where you can worship or pray to God because once you have Spirit of God, that's the place you can worship and pray to God in your spirit, which is absolutely right. I guess we all are blessed to have a God where He is not limited to any place, any location, or any boundaries. You can be anywhere, in any place, in any circumstances, and you can sit and pray to the Lord. Just call unto His name, He's there. So that's what He tried to explain. Then, just to open up her more, Jesus said, "Go and call your husband." And then the things came out, the truth came out that the person that she's living with is not even her husband. And then Jesus told, yes, I know that. Because before this also you had five husbands and the person that you're living with now, the man that you're living with now, is not even your husband. Then it shocked her. Then somehow she started realizing that maybe this is Messiah because he's like a prophet. He's telling her certain things about her life which she shouldn't be aware of. And then he said that I am that Messiah that you're talking about. So, it is always said that God is someone. Usually, you always see that, there is a story of Rahab in the Bible who was a prostitute and God used her in the genealogy of birth of a Christ. That God can rewrite your story, God can use you. The same way, if you check the Samaritan woman, when she came to know that he is the Messiah, she ran back to village happily and she started shouting and telling everybody that she has seen Messiah come, he's there, and she called everybody. So when that old times where there was a social barrier and a man talking to a woman, especially a Jew talking to a Samaritan, would have been a very big social barrier. But Jesus did not think about all these things. He still went and spoke to her, knowing her past, what she is or what's her present is also. God did not judge her. Time and again, God has given us so many incidents in the Bible where He just sees you. Probably God knew her heart, and it was a plan of God to meet her at that place because when she used to go to fill up water, she used to be alone. It was like she was banned by the complete village because of the life she had, because she was considered as someone who is an adulterer. So you can see, but it did not matter to God. He met her, he spoke to her, he was even willing to have water from her hands. So God sees your heart. Imagine the life of a woman, what she must be going through, or what she must have gone through when she had to, leave five husbands and then stay with a man. Maybe it was due to any reasons, maybe a support that she needed. She didn't had any family to take care of her, or maybe she didn't had anybody who would accept her or give her, some work so that she can earn for herself. She didn't had any choice, and that's one of the reasons she was just staying with someone after five husband with a man. Just and what burden she must be carrying, how much oppressed she must be. She only knows the reason what she has been through in her life. But God saw her. God saw her in that situation. Though she was like that, still she knew the word of God. Still she knew about every law that was in the Bible previously, which was mentioned. And she tries to, have a conversation about it with Jesus Christ. But God, changed everything for her. She became someone who proclaimed the word of God to the village. She went running and told them that the Messiah is here. So Jesus was very progressive in thought, which even we are not today. If we check, women have grown far more, in each and every uh, thing. Like, they are educated, they are working, but still they don't get the respect, what they should get in the society. I am not against anything, but it's just a very simple thing that don't judge anybody based on their past or what life they had. You were never present in that situation. God never judged her. God, in fact, used her knowing her heart so that she shouldn't remain the same. And that's what happened. She never remained the same. God changed her things for her. And that's what God does. He takes away every hurt, every sorrow, and He changes your life. So I really hope it was a very long passage, so I have really not read through, but I'm sure many of you will read it. So I hope that it gives you a good encouragement. And do not hold yourself back. But don't think what world thinks about you, what they call you. What matters is your identity in Jesus Christ. He just needs your heart. He needs you. Rather than saying He needs you, you need Him more. It's always a choice. God has given you a free will whether to accept Him or not. As I told you in my previous message, it's always going to be a choice that you have to make. Make a good and a wise choice because it certainly affects your life. It's a life and death situation for you. So I hope, I really hope, and I pray that whoever listens to this, God blesses you more and more, give you a heart to accept Christ. Know that your past doesn't matter. God is a rewriter of a story, and I am a living example of it. I know how my life was and what God has done into my life. And I'm sure we have thousands of testimony or lakhs and millions of testimonies around the world that people's life have changed. So God was alive, is alive, and He's going to be alive forevermore. He was doing everything for the people when He was on this earth, and when He is taken up in heaven, He's still doing it because He's a living God. He lives inside you. Your body is a temple of Christ. So just one name away, you call on to His name, and He's going to be right there to take care of you. So God bless you. Have a wonderful day.